Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F124 Career Mode. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we kick things off with a secret meeting for the third time in our rookie season, this time being with a team that's about the same level as our current Williams team, and that's Alpine. However, I would quickly shut down this meeting as we really have already kind of narrowed our future down to two options. And option one is, well, simply remaining with our current Williams team. Option two is Trackhouse Racing if they find a way into Formula 1. That's still not confirmed. We have brought some upgrades into this weekend, which kind of puts us ahead a little bit of VCarb and other teams as well. We're bringing a few new components, I should say, coming into this weekend. Max Verstappen, another win in Hungary. He had a few weeks where he, of course, had some struggles in Spain and Austria, but as we head into his home Grand Prix, he has been absolutely honored, or I should say, one of his home Grand Prix. Of course, the Netherlands coming up as well, but Belgium is still as well considered a bit of a home Grand Prix for Max Verstappen now as we come into this weekend. A brand new track into this game. Of course, the track itself's not new, but the version of it is. This is a laser scanned, redone version of Spa, and it's important to note this is the last video I am recording before the patch that fixes the AI ERS train effect that I have complained about many times in this career mode. So it's a farewell to that. Thank goodness. I am looking forward to playing this new patch. This video I'm recording on a Monday. It'll be going out on a Tuesday, and then anything beyond that point will be on the new patch. And I've been kind of stalling out this first season a little bit because I didn't want to progress too far and deal with this ERS train situation with the AI for a long time. So now that that's going to be fixed, expect a lot more frequency in uploads for career mode moving forward, probably starting about halfway through this week. So I'm excited because in my opinion that's the last thing that needed to be fixed to make this game great. I honestly think there's a lot of potential in F124, and I've been enjoying everything, and I've certainly enjoyed the fixes they have made so far, and now this ERS train, AI trains being fixed was really the last thing I was looking for. So I'm quite satisfied, to say the least, that's going to be fixed if the patch actually does what it's supposed to do. So we're going to focus in on qualifying after being both Williams cars in the top 5, a great step there in the right direction. And you guys remember last episode, F1 confirmed they will allow an 11th team onto the grid here in Formula 1. That's not a guarantee that it is happening. We don't know who it's going to be. The rumors have been, Trackhouse is looking at buying a current team, so I don't know if it's going to be Trackhouse Racing that will be looking to enter their own team, but the summer break is following today's episode, and I can tell you we're going to learn a lot of stuff following this episode going into the summer break. So definitely stay tuned for next episode, because it's going to be the biggest one of kind of the season when it comes to kind of silly season news and whatnot. So we know Carlos Sainz's future is still up for grabs. We'll have to wait and see what's going on there, but we focus in on just this weekend, and Q1 was great. We went P9, P12. I was actually running on 110 AI for this weekend again, and I think I mentioned last episode I found that I've had to run maximum AI a lot more in this game than ever before, which is not a testament to my talent level, because I'm not great. It just means that they need to make their AI more difficult in this game, because yeah, it's a little bit too easy at times here now. But in Q2, so I mean, happy with where we were in Q1, of course, and hoping we could keep this going. And I had quite a few moments during this lap of assistance with Slipstream, from going up through Eau Rouge and Ratty and down the long back straightaway to as well Lewis Hamilton right there, and that would really allow me to excel this lap, but a lot more than I anticipated. As we open the rear wing, we go P1 at the line, and I thought that was maybe a bit of a fluke, but no, it remains, and we stay P1 as Alex Albon will be the first one out, so we absolutely dominate him as Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon as well all out. But like I said, we had several moments on that lap of slower cars giving us slipstream that allowed us to just, find multiple tenths of a second as we come through into Q3 now, and we're probably going to get our reality check right here, and as well I've seen some comments still. Why don't I use overtake mode during qualifying? The AI do not use it, therefore I don't use it either. It's just simply an unfair advantage to myself. But we were pretty slow on our first and opening lap, and I wasn't surprised. I was missing a few apexes, so I was really on the second and final lap looking to just find those apexes, and we were doing exactly that. We found half a second of gain, and now 0.6 of a second, 0.7, 0.8, nearly a full second of gains here. But is that really going to equate to a gain in track position? As we round these final turns, it's nearly a full second gain to the line, not quite 0.9 of a second, and it's P3, but it wouldn't last. It would end up P8, which is still nonetheless a fantastic qualifying effort for our car. The pair of Mercedes 9th and 10th is Leclerc and Alonso are set to lead the field to lights out here for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike. And us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 metres of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Fernando Alonso alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Golden Boy, Hamilton, Russell, Albon, Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, Joe, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. We've heard all the rumours this week about this driver, and in the words of Joe Strummer, should I stay or should I go? And it seems, according to the rumours, they're staying. Now, Ant, you know us. Professionals as we are, we don't listen to rumours all the time, just some of the time. And in the case of this driver, I think we were right to listen to those rumours because they were true. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
So then we're ready to go racing here. A simple strategy here. 2 stops you could do, but you're going to add about 11 seconds of time to your race. We'll be sticking with the mediums going on to the hards. Let's get ready to go racing. Lights out, Leclerc out in front.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race.
There's no doubt Leclerc's frustrated. He wants to get to the top step of the podium. He's looking for his first win on the season. Fernando Alonso, well, he might want it even more. It's been over a decade as you see a lot of medium presence in the front 10.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Right, guys, great weekend so far, great qualifying. Everything's been just, flowing fantastically. Let's keep it up.
Get after it here, mate. Today could be a special one if we keep this up.
As of course, Sebastian Vettel has become our mentor in this career mode, and as a Sebastian Vettel fan myself, I can't help but think back on 2018, the opening lap, Vettel versus Hamilton. Here comes Sebastian Vettel taking the lead on the opening lap and going on through to win the Grand Prix. One of my favorite wins to watch in F1 history as a Sebastian Vettel fan. None quite top Singapore, his last win in Formula 1, but here we go, ready to go racing. It's lights out from the Belgian Grand Prix. It's a great great start from Charles Leclerc, but an absolute disaster for Fernando Alonso. Red Bull, second, third, 3 wide in the background. We're in the middle of that sandwich now. George Russell around my outside. He's gone through. You can see Lando Norris up there in front of us, and Oscar Piastri as well. Alex Albon, Lewis Hamilton, wheel to wheel just behind as we go through Eau Rouge and Radian. Who's going to come through? It's the medium compound on Hamilton's car. Softs on Albon's, but it's Hamilton who's going to get the edge now. As you can see, we are side by side again with Oscar Piastri. We fought back down this long straightaway. The Red Bull still side by side. Plenty of side by side battles happening here now. As you can see, Norris and Russell. Russell comes out on top of that. Piastri comes out on top of the battle between myself and him as we come through this end of this first sector, starting sector 2, and now everybody has kind of sorted things out, got single file. It's Leclerc out in front, and I'm sure he was wishing Fernando Alonso would get a better start, because Max Verstappen being P2 in his rear view mirrors is certainly a worst case scenario now, as Verstappen has been dominant all season long. But now that we are going to have the new patch following today's episode, where it's actually going to spread out the AI, I'm really curious to see after today how it's going to affect these races, and I think we're really going to hopefully finally see some proper races play out. I haven't actually seen any gameplay of the new patch, so I'm not even sure if it's fully working, but I'm certainly hoping it is now as we come through towards the end of lap 1 and really slipping and sliding around at the end of the circuit here. But P9 after qualifying, of course, in 8th position, but we have a bit of a run here on lap 2 on the back of the Australian of Oscar Piastri and that McLaren. He's had his ups and downs this season. Here comes Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to put that overtake button to work to keep in front of him. We get right to the back of Piastri. Not close enough to quite make a move, but the move is done itself. He goes off the circuit with a lockup. Only gives up a few positions. Honestly, got away with one there, I would say, as he still maintains P12. Lance Stroll in front of him in P11, but will take the free position up into now P8 as Hamilton's going to trail right behind us, and I don't think we're done seeing Lewis Hamilton, who's in that Mercedes and a lot quicker, and here he comes on the back part of the circuit now, coming down that straightaway, the curve straightaway, of course, side by side with Lewis Hamilton as we go through the left-hander. He's going to back out. He's not going to keep it stuck around the outside. I was not really trying to fight him there. I know he's in a Mercedes. I know his car is way quicker than mine. I really wasn't trying to force the issue, but he just really didn't have that dog in him in that instance right there. He didn't really want to go for it. So we maintain position for now in the same location. 1 lap later, here he goes, and again, I'm not trying to make it hard on him, but he seems to kind of stall out, so I actually pull out and just let him have it, because I know I'm not going to be able to run down Lando Norris, but maybe Hamilton could bring me forward. But you can't pass up this opportunity when he's way off the pace right there on the next DRS straight. So we go back past, but we know he's going to be able to get an opportunity to pass me again. He is significantly quicker than me, but this car right now, it's kind of designed the setup towards a more high-speed setup, and I was looking for changes going into the pit stop to kind of add some downforce to the car, because I was losing a significant amount of time anywhere where downforce was kind of the preferred thing to have here. Now, as we have a side-by-side battle for the lead, and Max Verstappen already on lap 5 with the assistance of DRS to the lead here in Belgium now, as we maintain P9 in front of our teammate of Alex Albon. 2 different tire compounds here on the Williams cars, myself mediums, Albon on that soft compound, Lance Stroll just behind him on the soft as well. And you can see, I mean, like I said, kind of where the downforce is necessary is where we're losing, and Hamilton drives away, but we can really hold our own on these straightaways. So it's a really weird dynamic we got going on for ourselves in this race so far. Hamilton maintains just in front of us. He can't really drive away because he can gap me in any of these corners, but on the straight line I'm just having enough. But I know if he breaks out of that 1 second and I lose DRS, it's going to be kind of a game over, and I'm going to fade backwards right now. It's not happening, however. So we just continue on lap 7 at this point. We're just kind of stuck in the same kind of scenario here, where we're having this back and forth seesaw, actually going a little bit wide there through the long left-hander, and that gives us one of the warnings. We actually took a penalty last episode for corner cutting, exceeding track limits too many times. Now is look at this. Charles Leclerc, he's not done. He tries to fight back on Verstappen, who lunges deep into the corner. Who's going to come out on top of this one? The answer, Charles Leclerc, back to the point here in Belgium. As that was happening as well, actually had lost DRS of Lewis Hamilton, and now Alex Albon goes through, and those soft tires don't really seem to be falling off too the extent that I expected here now as he continues to excel on those softs compared to myself on these mediums. We're not terribly far away from our pit window, about lap 11, 12 area, but as well the guys on softs, they're going to be coming in any time now over the course of this next lap or two. You can see on the MFD there on the right side that we have made a downforce adjustment to 25. We were on originally like 15, so when we pit, that will be something that changes now as pit stops are starting to kick off. Perez is in, and there goes Albon. Alex Albon, our Williams teammate, into the pits as well as we're starting to slip and slide. We're starting to lose grip. This is a issue I've been kind of dealing with recently here, and I think it's, I don't know if it's with the new handling model or whatnot with that recent patch that came out, but as these races go on, as the run goes on, I really struggle with keeping the rear end from slipping and sliding around, and it seems to be costing me yellow flags behind. It's Zhou Guan Yu, as it's going to be an engine failure for him. It's going to be day over early for the Chinese driver as he currently runs in the 14th position. At the end of this lap, Max Verstappen from P2 comes into the pits. He's going to bring George Russell with him as well, and he's going to get rid of those softs, throw on what I would expect to be the hard compound tire, and he will exit now. And actually, it's going to be interesting because Perez pitting one lap early is going to give him an opportunity to be right there in the mix on Verstappen. There's you see Russell exiting, but here comes Sergio Perez on the run down into turn one. They're side by side just about on the exit of the corner. I think they will be. Here comes Perez with the run. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Wheel to wheel as they head down towards Eau Rouge and Radia, and this could even be battling for the race victory side by side, and Perez comes out P2, Verstappen on top. Now Perez looking for an opportunity. Now he's on the back of him, but he's not actually making a move. He kind of goes for the move and then backs out. He does not have DRS there. So now Verstappen is able to open up the gap and stay put. As this is happening, we've stayed on the racetrack here for a few more moments, and we're just in front of Oscar Piastri. As we slip, we slide, we save it, but Piastri, if you remember, he actually got passed by myself on lap 2 when he had that big lockup. Now, as we have another moment, we continue to struggle, as now you can tell that the tires are definitely falling off a cliff at this point now, as I think, okay, it's time to come into the pits as we continue to slip and slide around this circuit, and right here on the exit of the left-hander, another big slide. It's time to pit now at the end of lap 10, so we're going to come into lap early. As you can see, I'm just struggling so hard at this point, so of course, yeah, it's time to come in as we will get down to that speed limit. I do wonder maybe as well if it's the higher tire wear mod that's kind of causing this to happen, and I could look at taking this maybe out of the game, but of course it brings in more pit stops for a bunch of the races, not all of the races as we see today, one stop being still the optimal strategy. But we get the mediums off, the hards go on. We're going to be a ways behind the likes of Alex Albon, who's breezing past already. He's already exiting turn 1 and long gone down the road. He is multiple seconds up the road. Ocon, Stroll there just in front of us as well. We come through right in front of Tsunoda, who's going to breeze past me on the left side. We'll let him have it for now. We'll tuck in P14 as we'll now look for the overtake immediately, though we've got a little bit of battery to drain here, only about 55% of store, as now we're going to use it up here with the DRS as well. Move to the right side. Stroll going for an overtake on Esteban Ocon in the Alpine, and we clear Yuki Tsunoda. Stroll clears Esteban Ocon in that Alpine now, so we settle in to that 13th position as we come towards the end of lap 11, and you can see on the track map still a couple of cars on track that have not pitted yet, including the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, and I don't really like that move. He's going to really tumble down the order, I think, and it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work out for him, as now we're focused in on trying to run down Esteban Ocon here, and we're just slowly reeling him in. You can see kind of the wheel movements. I'm a bit on edge on some of these curbs here now. Now a run actually into the back of Esteban Ocon. That is not what I was trying to do, but we breeze past nonetheless with the DRS up at a P11, as I definitely think points are still on the table, and I think as this race winds down, we're really going to have a realistic opportunity to move our way forward, actually taking our second warning, so we do need to be careful with that. We don't want to take any more, of course. That would again be 2 episodes in a row of a time penalty. Lap 15, let's go through the grid.
Max Verstappen, as usual, in command as he aims to close in one bit further on win number 70. He has a 5-second lead on George Russell.
And how about Fernando Alonso running 5th right now, but with great pace? Could be on track for a podium today if he keeps it up. Alex Albon in 7th too.
Albon has had his ups and downs this year, but has stepped it up today He was out-qualified by his rookie teammate by a large margin, but has certainly outpaced Owen today.
Not a great day for McLaren either. We see Norris down in 8th, and Piastri is trying to overcome his lock-up and is still not inside the top 10.
And how about that? Alex Albon passes Lewis Hamilton and moves through into 6th. That Williams has had strong straight-line speed here, and it is certainly showing now. Great run for Alex.
And there we see the two Haas cars scrapping it out at the end of the DRS straight. A quiet year for the American team, as rumours increase that we very well could see a second American team on the grid next year.
Esteban Ocon runs P13 while his teammate Gasly a miserable day down in 19th place. But our day continues to get better because we are closing in on the cars in front. We slip, we slide, we overcorrect, and it's a huge accident. And for the first time, we have crashed out of a Formula One race.
You alright, mate? Speak to me when you can here.
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, guys. I wrecked myself. It's been a bit of a rough stretch recently, but that's kind of a low point, I would say, for us, and maybe the timing's perfect, honestly. We had a DNF a few episodes ago with a mechanical failure. Last episode didn't quite go to plan. We struggled a lot in Hungary after showing promise everywhere else but the race. Max Verstappen gets the win, but yeah, we crash ourselves out today with showing more promise. It's the summer break now, so we can hit the reset button. We get some time off, and we've got a lot of things going on in the summer break as well, like determining our future as well in Formula One. And obviously, if you're Williams, they've already put out kind of an idea of touch basis. They've kind of want to go with an offer on the table, and we're going to find out what that is next episode. But, you know, a day like today is not going to look good on our resume going forward. So definitely frustrated, disappointed in myself on that one. This track is quite treacherous with the curbs, and it punishes you in this game, and you got to be really careful with this kind of new version of Spawn. And you know, I was struggling with the rear end a lot in this tail end of that first run, but that did not affect anything that happened with that crash there. That was completely self-inflicted off the curb. The car was driving great, and you could tell because we were closing in. But Charles Leclerc still has to wait for a win. Verstappen 54 wins on his career now to Fernando Alonso 64 wins. Fernando Alonso P3 on the podium. Piastri there P9 compared to Norris P7. Albon picks up a point, so he does close in on me. He's 5 points behind as Verstappen has a 71-point advantage going into the summer break. He is very comfortable. We have a lot of things to discuss in the next episode in the summer break about our future in Formula One. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.